Good evening, feeble-minded Earthlings. My name is Imperial Starbeast, and if you're receiving this transmission, it's because I've taken over your mind, and we are now interacting as one. Tonight I'd like to talk about how I ended up in space reviewing movies. A little over a month ago, I awoke from cryosleep. For the past 37 years, I lay knocked out in the backseat of my flying 1985 Chrysler LeBaron. On April 1st, my ship's navigation system, PAPI, alerted me to the approaching planet in my windshield. The planet I've spent almost 4 decades in hypersleep searching for. Before my space launch in May of 1985, I lived a life on Earth, raised by my adoptive father who found me wandering the woods as a small child. Because of my appearance, I was sheltered from the outside world for much of my childhood, until I started grade school. Like most children who are different, I was bullied because of my big brain. Around the time when most children learn to speak vocally, I established the ability to speak telepathically instead. Knowing I was special, I spent adolescence dreaming about the stars, and fell in love with the idea of space travel as a means to find my real parents. Feeling like an outcast, my adopted father, who worked for NASA, decided to launch me into space in search of life in the Outer Rim. In preparation for my launch in December of 1985, NASA retrofitted a Chrysler LeBaron into my spaceship and supplied it with the latest state-of-the-art technology. An IBM PC Junior, a Sony television and VHS player, a camcorder, and a ham radio. While preparing my ship for the ascent to the surface, PAPI, my ship's computer, ran a routine scan of the planet's atmosphere. It was then revealed that all life on the planet had been wiped out by asteroids and now lies covered in volcanic activity, making life inhabitable. All that remains of my home planet, and the hopes of contacting my alien race, are buried under rock and ash. PAPI then decided for me to stay in orbit and continue my expedition for extraterrestrial life. After all this time I spent getting here, I'm now stranded in the outer rim of space, contemplating how to spend my last days. As the gravity of my situation began to set in, I thought it best to take an inventory of my supplies. Currently, I have a few boxes of MREs, a case of water, and 2 cans of Tang. As I proceeded with my search, I came across a cardboard box with a stack of science fiction movies. I went to bed realizing my mission had taken a change of course. The next morning I woke up with new ambitions. As I was eating my shelf-stable instant breakfast and sipping on a bottle of Tang, something dawned on me. I frantically grabbed the large 16-inch television screen and connected the VCR. I popped in the first movie out of the box, Ridley Scott's Alien. It was as if I was watching a documentary of my own life, and I was mesmerized by the glow of the screen. For the first time I felt close to home, the one I left behind 37 years ago. I don't know if I'll find life in space, but I found something that resembles the life I once had on Earth. That day, I charted a course for a new mission. For how long, I'm not sure. But somewhere within the stack of science fiction movies, I found a calling, a purpose. After watching each movie, I began writing a detailed critique and relaying the message back to Earth. Spoiler-free, of course, for your enjoyment. I'll broadcast each transmission from my floating Chrysler LeBaron with hopes the signal will reach you. The following is how I will go about rating each movie. I'll start by sharing some information about the movie's characters, relationships, and events around the film's plot without giving away any major spoilers, mentioning the most important moments or turning points that make the film worth watching. Next, I'll discuss the film's history along with its reception upon release. I'll mention anything notable about its production design. I'll talk about the filmmakers, writers, and directors. I'll then analyze certain aspects of the film, such as the acting, its concepts and themes, discussing events that set up the story and how they play out in the movie, all while being objective and detailed in my evaluations, making a conclusion if the main idea of the film was duly implemented. I'll talk about the characters of the film and their relationships with one another. How did the actors portray themselves on film? I'll look at the dialogue and how character arcs are presented. I'll then discuss what went into making the film's special effects. I'll research the film locations, set design, its computer-generated effects or traditional model design, and how these effects contribute or take away from the overall plot. I'll dig deep into how the movie pulled off its creature design, what technology went into the movie's creature effects, and how its portrayal on film was perceived by moviegoers. I'll discuss noteworthy cinematography about lighting, shot size and composition, camera focus and placement, along with camera movement. I'll talk about the film's use of colors, camera techniques, mood, tone, symbols, and costumes. I'll give my review on the movie's sound design and how it contributes to the film, as well as a short history about the composer of the score. I'll then talk about the movie's freshness. Has the film won any awards or gained recognition for its accomplishments? Are the themes or ideas presented fresh, and how likely will they hold up over time? And then I'll wrap it all up with my 2 cents. I'll describe my feelings during and after watching the movie, and specifically what I liked and what I didn't like, providing you with my general impression about the film. How does the movie compare to other movies in the genre? Does it stand the test of time? I'll give my recommendation as why it might be worth watching, or not. I have a lot of great film reviews coming up, from fun family films to modern and classic sci-fi movies, TV series, and even animation. So please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Until then, drop me a comment below and tell me what your favorite sci-fi movie is. What would you like me to review? As always, like, comment, and subscribe, because this transmission may be the only one you hear from space.